Right, okay, before we start this video, I want you to do me a favour. I want you to like the video, give it a thumbs up, also share it on social media, and also hit the subscribe button to the channel for me, because I want to teach other people who are maybe considering about changing from a petrol or diesel to an electric car. Now, if you do watch the channel, you'll already know that I own an electric car. I'm in it now. I'm in a Porsche Taycan EV, and I've had it now for just over 3 years, and it's almost time to hand it back. Now, I had it on a PCP finance deal, and there is now about just over 10 months left before I hand this car back, and I found out an interesting revelation about this car and about the finance deal. I'm on the way to Porsche Leeds now to extend the warranty for another year, which is going to cost me almost £1,300, including Porsche Assist. Now that will cover me until I hand this car back, roughly this time next year, just a little bit before. Now, the cost that I actually got on this car to settle the finance settlement deal, I actually got some figures which I'm going to read out to you when I pull over. Obviously, I'm not going to read them now. And I also got a price on the car as well. Now, initially, I paid £120,000 for this car. And the last time I looked with We Buy Any Car, I think it was 30-odd thousand pounds, and I owed 50-odd thousand pound on the car. So I've done videos on this before. I got prices from different companies, etc. We Buy Any Car, also Autocar, also Car Wow and Motorway, and they varied quite a lot actually. They varied, but I'm going to go through it because, interestingly enough, I called my very good friend who I've known for years at Porsche Nottingham, and he told me a really interesting fact about my finance agreement that I didn't actually know, and it made me quite excited because it means that I don't actually have to pay back as much as I thought I had to, which is great news, because that means I can then go back into a normal petrol car, hopefully, because they are giving better deals on electric cars. So it all needs to weigh up and add up correctly, but it's good news because it does mean that I can actually hand this car back. And I want people to learn from my experience of owning an electric car and the drawbacks of owning an electric car. I want people to learn from. So please do hit the subscribe button and also click the little bell for notifications of when I upload new videos. We're going to head to the Porsche Leeds now. We're going to renew the warranty on this car, which is going to hurt a little bit, but I need to do it because I've had so many things go wrong with this car, which I'll go through with you in a moment. So, without further ado, my friends, let's go. Right, so anyone thinking of buying an electric car, think again and think very carefully, because a car is supposed to get you, as my mum used to say, from A to B in the simplest possible manner. It needs to be A to B, get you there, job done. Not A to B to C, B being the always be charging, by the way, ABC, because you're always going to be looking for a charger unless you're driving around town and you're literally just driving around town. Other than that, do not even think about getting an electric car, because you are going to be literally tied to your electric car. You'll lose part of your freedom. And also, when you try and get rid of your car at the end of the day, it's actually going to be worth a lot less, because residual values of electric cars are less. And it makes sense, because nobody wants to buy a used electric car, because we all know the batteries are going to be degraded in them. So initially you'll purchase the car and as soon as you drive off the forecourt, you are going to lose an absolute fortune. Now, we know that you lose money with cars anyway, but not as much as an electric car, because nobody wants to buy a used electric car. Would you? That'll answer your question. Now, I'm going to go and get the warranty for this car. Reason being, it's a little bit of an extravagant car anyway. It's a Porsche, so it's going to cost me an absolute fortune if I need anything doing on this car in the last few months that I've got it. I've already had the heater replaced, I've had the 2 fans replaced at the front, I've had both indicators replaced because water got into them. I've had the onboard computer system replaced. There's an aerial that needs to be replaced. Now the brake hoses need replacing. That's an emergency recall, so that's under warranty anyway. And I do believe the actual batteries themselves for the car, they're, I believe, don't quote me on this, they're under warranty. I think it's something like 10 years or 100,000 miles, or 8 years, 100,000 miles. So they're covered anyway, but it's the rest of the car because there's a lot of technology on it. Now, I'm going to do this, but the interesting revelation is I thought at the end of my agreement, I'm going to have to either A, refinance the car and keep hold of it, or B, give them around £20,000 to hand it back. However, there's a twist to the plot, and we'll get to that, and I'll read through the figures after I've got this warranty. Oh, and by the way, if you cannot charge your electric car at home, say you live in a block of flats or an apartment or whatever you want to call it, and you have no access to a driveway, forget it. Absolutely forget it, because right now I'm down to 35%, 83 miles of range. I need to actually go and charge my car now while I'm at Porsche, which will cost me quite a lot of money, not as much as it would yourself if you went to like a public charger in McDonald's or wherever, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. And if you charge on a public charger, it's going to cost you more to charge your electric car than it would to fill up with a tank of diesel or petrol. I've done all the maths on this, I've done all the tests, I've driven from John O'Groats to Land's End with Jeff Buys cars against his diesel, and it works out an absolute fortune to drive an electric car long distances compared to a petrol or diesel. We've done the maths, we've done the figures, we've done the tests. We've done it, I've done it a couple of times. It doesn't work. You're better off having a diesel or a petrol for long journeys. So that's another negative against having an electric car. Now, if you are thinking about buying an electric car, or you've got friends or family that's thinking about buying an electric car, maybe send them this video, share it on Facebook, share it across social media, because I've owned one now for over 3 years, and I can tell you now, don't bother searching, don't bother going on Google to search whether or not to get an electric car or whether you should get an electric car. Listen and learn by my 3 years of ownership, of owning an EV. And I'm saying, if you are going on long journeys and you're doing anything other than driving around town and pottering around town, and you have your own driveway, then do not even think about getting an electric car. If you've got your own driveway and you just pootle into the shops or whatever for some veg and for some frozen chips or whatever you get, then that's fine. Happy days. Go and get yourself an electric car, plug it in on your driveway or in your garage, and you're off the next day. And yes, it'll be cheaper for now if you go on Octopus Energy or whatever. But if you're not, and you're thinking of charging on the public charging network, forget about it. And don't say, should have got a Tesla, because let's be honest, they're garbage. They really are. Look at any Tesla owner. I mean, Tesla owners go, look at me, I've got an iPad. Yeah, you might have an iPad, but you've also got one big knob in the driving seat. And I rest my case. I won't be charging my car at Porsche because the 2 chargers there are taken up. So now I'm going to have to go down the road and charge at GridServe, which I think is the nearest one, and that is going to cost me an absolute fortune. So there we go. I've rest my case. Let's park up. Parking space over there, and let's go and get this warranty. Right, milk float off. I'll go and get the warranty. Also going to get the Porsche Assist, which is basically like the AA or RAC or whatever, breakdown recovery. And then I'll get back to you and we'll do basically what the warranty, I need to find out what the warranty covers as well. But I'll also let you know about this interesting revelation about what I found out about my PCP and this car, and what I'll have to pay when I hand it back. Very interesting, and I have to say I was shocked, but in a good way. Right, so I've renewed my warranty. It's actually cost me £1,366. That's for a 12-month Porsche approved warranty renewal, which is 1,170, and 12 months of Porsche assistance, which is £196. That's now covered for the next 12 months. It doesn't cover for any like stone chips to windscreens and things like that, but if my computer system goes again or the fan system goes, it's all basically covered like what the original warranty was. Let's get in the car. I want to read through some figures with you about when I hand this car back in just under 12 months time. Interesting revelation. Oh, right, okay, let's get down to business before we wind this thing up. So basically, I've owned my car now for just over 3 years. There's about just under, let me turn this off, I'm absolutely freezing in here. I've got to hand it back in just over 9 months time. Now I bought it from Porsche Nottingham, and I got it on a PCP finance deal, and I spoke to the gentleman there who I've known for many years, and I always deal with Porsche Nottingham to buy my cars. I have them serviced here at Porsche Leeds because it's close to where my family are. Now I spoke to Porsche Nottingham and I said, got a little bit of an issue, because when I hand it back in a year's time, I'm going to have a massive chunk of change to give back to hand the car back unless I refinance it. And he said, not really. And I don't know about this, and if he's watching, I'm hoping this is true. And if it's PCP, a couple of people have actually said in the comment section. Let's go through basically. I went online to see what it is to pay my car off now, and it's outstanding balance. There's an outstanding balance on it of £56,042.95. Now, to settle that, because obviously you've got interest on there, would be £54,773.53. That's what I'd have to give the finance company, which is VW Finance, back to them if I want to take the car off them. Now, I went on Auto Trader, which gives me a better representation of what the car's worth compared to, say, let's say We Buy Any Car, who find a million faults with it. And they've said I could get £40,550 for the car. Now, if I traded it in with Porsche Nottingham, I think they'd give me slightly more than that. However, the car cost me £120,000, don't forget. So the amount of money that I've actually lost on it, and this is what I'm saying with electric cars, just go whoosh. It basically goes through the floor because electric car resale values are garbage because nobody wants to buy an electric car second hand because the batteries degrade. So basically, when I spoke to Porsche Nottingham the other day, I said, well, that means I'm going to have to give 14 grand back to the finance company. I mean, basically, because I'm handing the car back. And what Porsche Nottingham said is, well, no, you'll have to give what mileage you've gone over. Now, I have gone over on the mileage, I admit. I've gone 14,753 miles over my mileage, which I'm going to have to pay for. But that's all apparently what I've actually got to pay with it being a PCP. I'm hoping this is right, and I'm hoping what he's told me is right. And if it is, then that means all I've got to pay is the excess mileage. Now it says here, handing back your Porsche. If you no longer wish to keep the car at the end of your agreement, you can return it to us. You'll still need to pay all the monthly payments. Now I'm guessing that means if I've not done the actual finish of the monthly payments. The option to purchase fee, which I believe, I don't know what that is anywhere, but it can, I looked online, and if you Google it, can be anywhere from £1 to £100. Excess mileage charges, if applicable, which they will be, and refurbishment charges. This car's immaculate. So I'm hoping, according to Porsche Nottingham, that all I'll have to do is actually pay the excess mileage and hand them the car keys back. And then I'm free and I'm rid of my electric car. So I can now see the light at the end of the tunnel after owning an electric car for 3 years, to hand it back, and maybe there is hope at the end of that light at the end of the tunnel that I can go back and get myself maybe a petrol 911, which is ultimately what I wanted in the first place. But I had this because I thought, well, you know, it's modern tech and I like all my tech, etc. So there we go. That's an interesting revelation. So if you are thinking about buying an electric car, think again, learn from what mistakes I've made, and that's by purchasing one in the first place. And if you're not going to be going around town using it to run around, don't go for an electric car. Think very carefully first whether it suits your needs. A, if you've got your own driveway, as I said, that's fine. And B, if you just want to use it as a run around. So there we go. The car's now got the warranty for another year, and just under, by this time next year, I'll be rid of the electric car, and hopefully in a 911. Please do share this on social media, and if you haven't come across me before, I do have a YouTube channel. I am the MacMaster. I will be doing more videos in my electric car and traveling around the world, so please do hit the subscribe button. It does help the channel and it does push this video out there, hopefully educating other people whether to buy an electric car or not. I'm not going to say don't buy one, whether it suits your needs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Milk float on.